What's up, you guys? It's Brandon again. I hope you guys are doing okay. I just want to answer some questions and have a legit conversation about e-commerce and how to grow a store, how to start a business in e-commerce, and all of these things that actually come to getting to the point where you're making 70K a month in revenue. So the other day I came up with the idea to just start a little conversation on Reddit. I said, hey, like, this is what my store has done, this is what I've done when it comes to e-commerce, and I just want to answer questions that you guys have. So basically, ask me anything about my experience and how I got to the point of making the kind of money that I am making online. But before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, thumbs up on this video if you liked it, and the bell notification just in case you want to be updated next time I upload a video. Alright, so like I said, let's just get into it. I'm going to open up my Reddit. I'm going to read some questions that people have asked me, probably questions that you're asking yourself, questions that you want to know the answer to, and we'll go from there. Alright, so the first question that was asked to me was, what marketing channels do you use and how did you scale them? So like I've talked about in the previous videos, I use basically Facebook and Instagram PPC ads, and I just started off by doing with no knowledge. Actually, I had no idea what I was doing. I thought that promoting a post would actually be sufficient to get sales. I didn't understand that you had to have conversions and that all of these analytics actually went into figuring out how to make money on Instagram and Facebook. So like I did, I started off with a full broad campaign. I targeted literally everybody, regardless of their age, regardless of interests, and I just threw the ad out there. And while that worked, there's a couple things I shot myself in the foot. I was targeting people who were 13 to 18 who 9 times out of 10 are not going to purchase from you. It's very rare that you're going to have a teenager like that be spending money in your store. While they might engage with your Instagram posts and it might be a good social proof, they're probably not going to convert. Also, the 55 up community, while they might actually purchase sometimes, they probably won't sometimes, most of the time, because shopping online is not native to them. So basically what I have come up with is a full broad campaign and just putting it out there for people who are between like 25 and 42. That's what worked for my brands. And just basically having no other interests, no other targeting, and just throwing that ad out there and letting Zuck do his thing with the pixel and let the pixel start gaining some traction. And then that way it will start showing your ads to people who are actually going to convert. It will start showing your ads to people who are lookalikes of interests of people who have already interacted with your ads or already purchased on your website. And that is a really, really good starting base. So you don't have to start out by having all of these different interests and lookalikes if you don't have any pixel data. So just put a full broad campaign out there and just like start your product journey that way. You're going to change it a lot. You're going to figure out that some things that you're doing don't work, and you're going to be able to build your knowledge base and build your targeting through that baseline of your full broad campaign. And to this day, we still use full broad campaigns. I've talked about this, but it works wonders, and it's actually like the most simple way to do it that people don't realize that they can do. They feel like that they should be putting an ad out there to people who are interested or people who are searching for their product or people who are searching for lookalike products. When in all reality, like if you put a store in a mall, like you're not going to be like, oh, I want my store to be in the foot traffic of where the people who are looking for skateboards are. If you're selling skateboards, no, you're just going to put your store in the mall. And you're going to take all the foot traffic that you can get, and then people are going to start funneling in, and then you're going to be able to market to those people. And the same works for online. E-commerce is the same way. All right, one of the next questions that was asked was, it is our 4th week since we launched our Shopify t-shirt store, and we're doing well over 200 orders and almost 4K in sales so far this month. What changes to your product pages cause your conversion rate to change? And what apps would you say are a must? So, basically, when I started out, I had really basic product pages, and that is not the best way to do it. But actually getting in-depth descriptions of what your product is, what your materials are made of, where it's made, the sizing, the measurements. If you have a t-shirt, what's the arm sleeve, what is the hem, like all this stuff. The more information and the more measurements and stuff that you can put on your product page, the more successful your product page is going to be. Also, putting customer feedback and customer reviews on your product page also helps wonders, because if people, a lot of times people upload pictures of them wearing your product, and it shows what I've talked about this in the past, but it shows what the product looks like on actual people, not just what the product looks like in a light box or a professional photography session. And also the apps that we use, I talk about using SMS Bump. I do like an app that you can put like a pop-up on your homepage, which is Mail Munch, for like your emails and text messages, some sort of newsletter, that kind of thing. Also Approve Source, which is this little thing that comes up at the bottom of your screen like this, and it says, oh, so-and-so in New York just purchased product A, and those pop up based off of the purchases that are actually made on your store, and it just gives that little bit of brand trust that people are actually purchasing these products and people are actually engaging and working with your store. And honestly, like one time, like we hit our spend limit on that, and it like stopped working or something, and we saw an actual dip in sales from that one app not working, and when we reactivated it, the sales started to come back. So that's one thing that I highly recommend. Next question is if you had to start over, what would you do to begin with, and what would you help a beginner scale to 70K per month? So basically, if I could go back and I could tell myself 2 years ago, like, don't get cold feet on campaigns, put yourself out there, put the products out there. I'm honestly, like, my first website was so embarrassing, and like if I wouldn't have gone to that website and put that website out there, like I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So don't be afraid to just like put your product out there and sell it however you can, because you can make changes as you go. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna learn as you go. That's how I've done all my businesses. I've done all my businesses, is learning how I go, learning as I go, and changing things and taking customer feedback, taking feedback from other professionals, taking feedback from somebody else who's making money in e-commerce and saying, hey, like, this is what you need to change, this is what you should do differently, and just actually taking that advice. And because a lot of times when I first got into it and like my first like 100K, I was like, oh, I got this, like I don't need any help, which is wrong. I still, to this day, like I need mentors, like, because I need to get to that 5 million mark. I need to get to that 10 million mark. I need to get to that worldwide recognition mark for brands and stores. So I need to listen to advice. And if I could go back and say, be more open to advice and not be afraid to actually implement what people are telling you, because people have done it before, people have been successful. So why not ride on their coattails and be like, hey, this is what they did that was successful, I'm going to implement this, or I'm going to mirror this. And don't copy their ideas, but definitely if they're doing it and it works, then there's some proof in the pudding right there. The next question is how many products do you sell? All right, so this one's kind of tricky, because on my specific brand, it's basically one product. So think about it like a t-shirt or a pair of jeans. Let's do a pair of jeans. So if you have a pair of jeans, you're going to have, it does one thing. You wear it on your pants. It's denim, yada, 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 same thing. But if you have different variations, you could have different washes, you could have different cuts, you can have different styles, you can have different colors of denim, but you have that one product. That's really it, is jeans. And so that's like our website. Like we have one product, but we have multiple, like we have 60 different variations on our website that complement each other, that people can collect off of, that people can interchange styles and that kind of thing. And so that's how I really suggest getting into having a successful online e-commerce store, is having one specific niche product, but having multiple variations, because people like to look at different things and people like to have options. And that is going to be the best way for you to actually be able to niche down and market your product. That's going to be able to build your pixel on Facebook better by having that one product, as opposed to having a whole store, a broad store of like, if you're gonna have like headphones and then you're gonna have shoes. Like, no, that doesn't work. If I see one more fake AirPod trying to be sold to me, like, no, not do it. And then I click on the website and they also sell like sunglasses. I'm like, all right, so the next question that I was asked was, after how long did you get your first sale? I have over 300 views, but no sale. All right, so this person has 300 impressions on their website, but they haven't sold anything yet. And that's fine. Like 300 impressions, like really isn't that very many people, especially when it's first starting out, and especially when your pixel doesn't really know who it's targeting. So be patient with yourself and you'll get there. But for me personally, I looked back after I got that comment, I looked back in my analytics and it was 3 days. It took us 3 days to actually get our first sale when we started our advertising campaign, and I had like 112 impressions, which 112 impressions now should relate to like 4 or 5 sales, but that's because I have a really, really, really healthy and a really mature pixel. But at that time, like I was like 111 people, that's so many people, but it's really not. Like it's really, really not. But if you think about it, if you have like a shopping center with 500 people walking through and you make 3 sales, like honestly, like foot traffic and impressions is one thing. But yeah, it took me 3 days and like 100 and something impressions. All right, so the next question was, have you ever ran a store where you're taking 70K a month for 2 months and then out of nowhere your revenue goes to 0 overnight? The Facebook page score is fine, everything was smooth sailing and very consistent, then it literally fell off a cliff over the last week for no obvious reason. All right, this person, that's so stressful. I feel it. While I haven't gone from the top to 0, I definitely have tanked. I have, like, it's just one of the things you learn. Like, I've launched new creatives before and completely tanked my whole campaign because I turned off my legacy creatives. And I mean, you just take these L's and you just move forward with them. Like, if you got to that point one time, like, you can do it again. And you're going to fail. We're going to run into issues. You're going to have things come up. Don't get discouraged. Don't be like, oh, it's over. Because, like, if people were buying a week ago, like, there's something wrong. Take a good look at your website. Take a good look at your campaign. See what you changed. Go back. I always keep a log. Anytime I do any changes on Facebook, I literally write down on a notepad what I changed. So if something does go south, I can like, oh, let's go put that back to the way it was before. And then I'll let that get settled again, get that revenue back, get those impressions, get the conversions coming back, and then start messing with it again. Always keep a paper trail. Don't be afraid of things failing, because if you got, like I said, if you got to that point before, like there's no doubt in my mind that you can get to that point again. I promise you. All right, the next question was, so I noticed that you like using Facebook advertising. How did you go about making those ads? Did you bootstrap or pay someone else or what? Good question. So when I first started, like I said, I literally had no idea what I was doing. I started a Facebook campaign and of like this just crappy image that I had made on Adobe Expressions or Adobe, like the cheap version of Photoshop. And I was like, this is so perfect. And I like promoted the post. And I thought that was like, okay, we're gonna advertise like this. I put like $20 on it, like expecting it to be like an overnight success. It wasn't. But I started just by learning. I watched YouTube videos, I listened to other people. I read articles on articles on articles, and I just ended up just learning as I went. And then I got to the point where I did hire an agency, and I learned so much from them, just by them doing the ads and them explaining to me what they were doing, that I feel like that is where I learned a bulk of my knowledge. But I also did learn a bulk of my knowledge from actually just doing it, like, and trying and failing. Like, if I told you how many times I failed before I had a successful campaign, like, it was like every day I was like, oh, I remember I found out that you could like target for conversions. And I was like, wait, what? I can like target for a purchase? And I had no idea that you could do that. So that was like mind-blowing to me. And that was probably something I should have known before I got into this. But I mean, it just goes to show that like you can start with no knowledge base and actually become successful. All right, so my next question that I was asked was, how many people do you have working for you, and what do you find is the most difficult part of your online e-commerce? Have you thought about running multiple stores? And they said, I hope you don't mind if I add you as a friend, but Cool. Add me as a friend. Love that. We love friends. But yeah, I have thought about more stores and I'm working on them. I would like to have a full, like my vision is like to have this full big warehouse, like 5 different brands, 10 different brands, all running out of the same warehouse, the same team, and just like really like just killing it, like 10 million in revenue, 20 million in revenue, and just like actually having like a full service like fashion house or something like that. I don't know. And then how many people I have working for me? Not many. It is a lot of work. Like I said, we do all fulfillment in-house. We do everything in-house, honestly. Like I have a garage that like, I should give you guys a tour sometime. A garage of like how we do all of our fulfillment. And like boxes stacked up to the ceiling of packaging, boxes of inventory, and tables just like scattered with like just nonsense, but it's like clutter, but it's like necessary clutter. But I have 2 people. Well, there's 2 people that do fulfillment, and 1 person does fulfillment and customer service, replies to all the emails. We have Instagram hooked up on our phone, so every time a DM comes in, which is like 50 times a day, we get that DM and we like, it just comes up on our phone like you would a text message. Same with our Facebook page. Boom, it comes up on our phone. And then emails, we check emails in the morning, and then we do fulfillment, and then we drive it to the post office with boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes of inventory and shipments just ready to go. And I mean, it's a straight hustle, but that is like the way to do it, honestly. Because like if you have all these people, like, I mean, I don't know, like you can hire ShipBob and stuff, but I would rather keep that extra coin in my pocket that I would pay them and put it towards the business and like grow the business that way, put it towards another brand. I do hire freelancers for video and graphic design. I do a lot of graphic design myself, but sometimes I don't have time to do it, or sometimes my skill set's just not where it needs to be to complete the job that I really want done. And that's when I hire freelancers. And freelancers are the greatest way to do things because you don't have to have them on payroll, and you just pay them as a contractor, and boom, you get your work done. I use Upwork to find freelancers from all over the world. I use personal connections, LinkedIn, and just really utilize any sort of expertise that I can utilize. All right, so the next question is, hi there, firstly, thank you for sharing your knowledge. I would like to know what your startup capital amount was and how long did it take you to actually start making money? All right, so I was working as a bartender and I had like an extra $500, and it got to the point where I was like, okay, I need to do something else because I live in California and it's freaking expensive here, and I need to come up with a way to really make money and really have a career. Like I had run businesses in the past, I failed, fell on my face, got cold feet. I was like, I don't know if I want to do that again. But I just busted through and I had $500 and I said, okay, this is all or nothing. I bought some inventory. I did the website design myself, everything that I could do myself, uploaded all the products, stayed up all night, days on end, just trying to build this like really professional looking website, set up custom domains, custom emails through our domain, and then purchased that inventory, and I hooked my debit card up to my Facebook, my ads manager, and I just started running campaigns. And there were times where I actually ran into an issue where I was spending more on advertising than I had, and I overdrafted my bank account, and like it was a straight hustle. And then like I gauged it off of like, okay, if I can pay some of my rent, which was $1,800 at the time, if I could pay some of my rent and just take that burden off of like really having to hustle outside of this, then this would be all worth it. And I started in August 2018, and I started being able to put some money towards my rent in December. And by like, that was like half of my rent. And then literally maybe last summer, I started making more money, and now this year I'm able to actually start paying myself. And my rent is now $300. My all my bills are paid, everything is up, I have a nice healthy salary, and I'm still hustling every day, but I'm actually starting to see that all this hard work over the past couple of years was actually worth it. Alright you guys, well I hope that you enjoyed that. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, the thumbs up if you like this video. Hit me in the comments down below too. Let's have this discussion some more, ask me some more questions. Also, it is a heat wave in California right now. AC is great. I love my AC, but it is still so hot, and that's why we're killing it. We're killing it. I'm really hot right now. Like it's like just like seeping into the walls. So, but you guys be safe, and I'll talk to you guys soon.